Welcome to our training on Coding for Hackers, a self-learning approach. In this session, we are going to understand Bash basics. We'll get started with our first program, that's Hello World. Let's get started. As far as Bash basics are concerned, we need a few basic items to get started with our first Bash script, the traditional Hello World. First, we need an environment with a Bash shell. We will use the Bash shell on the Kali Linux 2.0 distribution, and I have connected to this Kali Linux system using my Amazon Web Services account. You can quickly use Kali Linux image on VMware, and either you can use a live operating system as well. So now the current version which I am using is uname-a, and actually I am using at the moment 4.9.0 version. So now what next we have is, next we need a text editor. A number of text editors are perfectly suited for creating shell scripts, from text-based editors such as Y and Emac to graphical editors such as gedit. Which editor to use is really a matter of personal preference, but for sake of consistency, we will stick to Nano editor because we are connected to a console format to our Amazon Web Services Kali Linux operating system. So I will be using Nano editor. So this is the Nano editor which we will be using in our training program. So as far as this Nano is concerned, now we'll get started with our first program, that's Hello World. So we'll jump right into the script, then go back through an examination. We'll examine both of the lines, and let's get started with opening Nano editor, and let's just enter the following lines in our Nano editor. So now what we have to do is, let's get started with the first product. So here what we have to do, we'll go to Nano editor, and within this Nano editor we are going to open hello world.sh file. Once this has been loaded, we are going to write a hash bang, and let's go with /bin/bash, and now finally we are going to use the echo command in order to get started with hello world. Let's just type in here. So now I have written the statements which I have specified in the document. So now as far as our Hackveda is concerned, in this Veda we have written, we have a hash bang here, and we have started for the bash shell. So in order to run this script, what we have to do is we have to do the compilations. But briefly, before proceeding to compilation of the program, I would like to dictate what we actually did. So exactly the line, this hash !bin/bash is composed of two parts. The first part is hash exclamation, and it is also known as shebang. Some people prefer it as hash bang. This tells the operating system that this line will specify the interpreter for our script. So this line will specify the interpreter for our script, that the lines of code which we have written is a bash script. The second part is the interpreter. In this case, /bin/bash is the bash shell which is going to interpret the lines of code. So one, we have the hash bang, and second we have the interpreter. So the first line is the hash bang which will specify the interpreter, our script, and /bin/bash will be the interpreter, or it is also known as the bash shell which we discussed in the previous session. It is possible that bash is located elsewhere in the file system, and we can determine its location by calling which bash. So now this is our first line of code. Later, so this is what you have is, this is your first line of code, in which part 1 specifically defines your hash bang, and second part defines the interpreter. If I take you to the concept here, again I would like to repeat that the first part is the hash bang, and second part is your interpreter. In case if you are not sure with where this bash is located, you can quickly search for which bash, and how you can do that I'll tell you. So now we are here, we have written a script, and here in this script, let's go to the second line. This second line, echo, is a command which is going to print hello world on the console, and let me just tell you that with respect to the Hackveda we have written here. So the second line uses the command echo to print to the screen the string. Whatever string we have provided, that will be printed onto the screen. So this is the string which we provided, and we will be using echo command to print this string on the console. So that's all. So now what we have to do is we have to use Control O. You can use this option Control O to write out to a file. So we will use Control O. We are going to save it into hello-world.sh. So we'll press enter and the file will be saved. So now you can see that wrote 2 lines. These 2 lines have been stored. And now we'll use Control X option to exit. So we'll use Control X to exit. Now what next we have to do is, now if I use an ls command here, you can see that we have got a file hello-world.sh. Now you have to make it executable. So in order to make this file executable, we can do this by issuing the command change mod u+x, or else we can provide the permissions as well. And we have to provide the name of the file which we want to make executable. So from the command line we'll be executing this command, and this command will add execute permissions for the user that owns the file. Now that we have created the file and made it executable, we simply need to run it. So in order to run, we will use the command /hello-world.sh. In this, the / in front of the command tells the shell we should be executing the script in the current directory, not any other scripts or commands named hello-world.sh that might exist somewhere else in the file system. So this means using this /, we are making sure that a file with the name hello-world.sh in the current directory should be executed instead of anywhere else in the file system. So now this is how you can quickly do the stuff. So now what next we are going to do, I'm going to make it executable. To make it executable, you can make use of change mod u+x, and you can give the name of hello-world.sh file. You can make use of tab spaces in order to do auto suggest and auto complete. So once we do that, so now what we can do is we can quickly check the permissions ls-l. So now once we do that, so using ls-l you will be able to see the permissions of your file, and the file was your hello-world.sh. Now you can see that your hello-world.sh has got read, write, execute permissions to your root user. Moreover, you can change the permissions using numbers as well. So 7 stands for read, write, execute, and 5 stands for read and read permissions for your user. Let's just quickly check what all permissions will be allotted. So you can allot that with 755 as well, and you can quickly check that with ls-l. So now this hello world provides read, write, execute to this, and read, execute to other users and domain users. So now your file has become executable, and now we can quickly run this file /hello-world.sh. So if I ask you again, this / make sure that the script within the current directory will be executed instead of a file hello-world.sh existing elsewhere in the file system. So now what we'll do, as soon as we press enter, you can see that hello world will be printed. I hope you now know the basics of how to create your first bash script, and you know the accurate fundamentals of this hello world. So now what I can do is, if you quickly, let me just quickly give you a brief overview. We have created a hello-world.sh file. We have opened it. We have provided the information of the script in the file. Now we have used hash and exclamation sign, and this is known as shebang or hashbang. /bin/bash is the interpreter or your bash shell. Echo is a command who's going to print string on the screen, and this is the string which we want to print in. We have used Control O and Control X to open and close. Finally, we have used the command change mod in order to give the permission, and this was the command to give the permission, and finally we executed using /. So that is the command using which we executed our script. / here, make sure that you are going to execute the script within your current directory. Thank you for watching this session, and in the next session we are going to discuss variables in shell programming. Thank you for watching.